Hello, my name is Stacy Wiener, and I will be presenting my publicity design for the musical Bandstand by Richard Obracker and Robert Taylor. Thank you. And I proudly represent Troop 4992. The table of contents shows what each file contains with its corresponding number. So this file, number 1, contains the table of contents, production summary, and thematic statement, which I will be referring to throughout the presentation. This musical takes place in the 40s, right after the conclusion of World War II. The show follows a group of aspiring musicians who all meet through one another. They are trying to adjust to life in a post-World War II America when the government and society make empty promises that their lives will return to normal in no time. They also thank them for being heroes, but don't treat them that way at all, and they are not given any real help. The musicians that eventually make up the Donnie Nova Band, 5 soldiers named Donnie, Jimmy, Nick, Wayne, and Johnny, and a Gold Star wife named Julia, all have significant PTSD that many who were unaffected by the war or even prospered because of it care little about. The main themes explored in this show are living with trauma, especially military related, bonding over shared experiences, and moving on from one's past and finding happiness. The color scheme is inspired by USO shows, which perfectly combine the Army with show business, the two elements most explored in the show. The colors and elements on the poster, program, ticket, and t-shirt cause the audience to become nostalgic for a time most of them have never really experienced, causing them to long to be in the setting of the story as well as have a deeper connection to the characters and the plot as a whole. This is my poster design. It is a journey upwards as the characters start the show in the military, and their goal for the rest of the first act is to win the local NBC Bandstand contest, represented here. Their next goal, once they accomplish this, is to raise the funds to move on to the next level of competition, which takes place in New York City at the national level. The information on where and when the show is, as well as how to get tickets, is near the top, so it is easy for people to find. The reason opening night is November 11th is because that is Veterans Day in 2021, which would be a nice way to honor veterans on a holiday that is often pretty ignored. Navy blue, specifically the color 060257 on Google programs such as Google Docs and Canvas, which was the program I used to draw the figures, is the main background color for the posters, as well as the program cover, tickets, and t-shirts. It is used to portray the night sky in New York City, which the band gets to explore in Act 2, which was a dream of theirs that they could hold on to when they felt they had nothing else. Not only does the dark background make the other colors pop more, but it also alludes to Donnie's insomnia that causes him to work the most on his music at night, as well as the other characters' flashbacks to their experiences during the war. Silhouettes are used in the poster and the ticket designs because they don't have any specific or defining features, so each audience member can imagine their own versions of them. This is also because each of the characters in the show fought with a different infantry and would therefore see different soldiers in their memories and flashbacks, adding to the idea that no one's trauma is like another person's. The colors of the silhouettes are the same for each group of characters to represent their cohesion and bond as one singular entity. With the soldiers, it adds to the lack of individuality they have when being viewed by society, and with the band members, it emphasizes their commitment to and love for one another. The color of their instruments is almost white, which often represents hope. This is because they feel most like themselves and like their lives might actually return to just how they were before, and when they are most hopeful for their futures instead of the suffering that occupies the rest of their day. This is the first actual poster I made. I felt it looked too bare and disproportionate. I enlarged the soldiers and the skyline to give them more prominence, and I added more information about the troop social media and where to buy tickets as an alternative to at the door. I also added the cameras and on-air sign to give a more clear depiction of the TV broadcast. This is the program design. The background is the same 060257 navy blue with the white dots for stars. It still represents nighttime as that is the time when most of their dreaming takes place. That is also when they play music. The vintage microphone is the one Julia, the lead singer, would be singing on. This cover is much more simplistic than the poster, so people's eyes don't become stressed while they're looking at it before the show. On the upper left side, there is some information about the show when it was originally performed. On the bottom half of the left side is a note from the director. The right side has information on the Got Your Six Veterans group. They are a group dedicated to helping soldiers get back on their feet and work through their PTSD when they return from overseas. This is the only musical to be SIX certified, which is a certification given out to forms of media that accurately portray the experiences of soldiers and their struggles when returning home. There's the Veterans Hotline because we don't want to only point out a problem to the audience, we want to offer them solutions as well. There is also a warning because the show does cover some very heavy topics that could easily trigger someone. On the left, there is the thank you note from the troops to the audience. On the right, there is the cast list. Then there is the list of the show's musical numbers and who sings each one. There is also the crew list. Here is room for cast and crew biographies. There is a space for a photo as well as a few sentences about each cast or crew member. There are enough spaces for each person. On the right side, there is a place to put any pictures of students wearing the t-shirt, working on the set, working backstage, and more so parents and audience members can see them having fun and working hard on the show they are about to see. There is ad space which will help generate revenue and fund the show. On the back, there is a little sneak peek at the next show so people know to come back in the spring. This is the ticket design. It is navy blue with the silhouette of a singer to match with the rest of the designs. Like I stated before, the reason for the silhouette is because they don't have specific or defining features, so each audience member can imagine their own versions of them, rather than someone we decide for them. There is information on when the show is and where their seat is. They can keep the ticket as a cute reminder of their experience seeing the show. This is the informative article which gives information about the show such as what it's about, when and where it was originally performed, and its history at the Tonys. It gives information on when the show is and how to get tickets. There is also a picture of the poster in case people reading the article hadn't yet seen it or wanted a visual of the written information. This is the featured article. It has the same information as the informative, but with more about the Olympic Heights Theater Department and a couple of the lead actors. It also contains the t-shirt design, which would be sold as the publicity project. Here is a larger version of the t-shirt to see better. The t-shirts have all of the information needed to attend the show, like the dates and times and who to call to get tickets, as well as the quote, "Sing because you just need to sing." This is my personal favorite quote from the musical, which perfectly encompasses the messages of the show, intriguing potential audience members and giving them a hint as to what is to come should they see the show. The reason for t-shirts instead of potentially buttons, wristbands, or even headbands is because they are the most traditional, which relates more to the 40s, while the other options would be more associated with decades of mass protest and social change, instead of duty, modesty, and honor. They are navy blue to keep cohesion with the posters, programs, and tickets, as well as because it makes the information on the t-shirt pop more than lighter colors would. The budget for the show is $1,300. The t-shirt order would cost $400, being sold for $15 each, which would help fund the production. The posters, programs, and tickets would cost $750 to be printed at a FedEx store. There is $150 budgeted for any other expenses that might unexpectedly appear, like if more tickets or programs need to be printed. The use of social media, school announcements, and emails is free and very resourceful. This breaks down the math behind the budget. For example, an order of 80 t-shirts sold for $15 each would generate a revenue of $1,200, so the profit would be $800. This is a picture of the physical board I made. The board itself is an abstract view of New York City, the place that represents the character's goal for most of the show. It is painted in a way that someone might imagine it, especially someone who has never been there before, so there are no specifics or aspects that are too defining to keep with the theme of different perspectives based on personal experiences. It provides a nice backdrop for the red backings and items to pop. These are pictures of me painting the board. This is the first sketch I made of the poster. This was the first idea I had for the program cover. This was the original sketch I made of the ticket design. These are a couple of elements of the poster before I added them to the rest of the design. This is the background of the program without the title. The program I used to draw these was Canvas on Chrome devices. This is the research I did on the show itself, including time period, themes, and colors. This is the research I did on general publicity and what to include on the poster and in the program. This is the bibliography for the research I did and the photos I referenced for inspiration for the designs. Thank you.